Here are 9 hidden locations in Pokemon that will make you feel so nostalgic you'll feel like you're 12. Starting off, we have the hot springs behind the Pokemon Center in Gen 3. Now in Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, Lavaridge Town is known for its soothing hot springs, which are right behind the Pokemon Center. If you enter the Pokemon Center, there's actually a separate door this time, and it leads to these bats. The hot springs are a spot where NPCs from throughout the city basically sit there, enjoy the warm water, and relax a little bit. An elderly woman near the entrance offers players a Pokemon egg sometimes, which hatches into a Wynot after walking a certain amount of steps. These hot springs are also present in the remakes Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and they look even better. And some of the characters from the old games are still there, relaxing in the warm water after all those years. After this, we have the Pokemon Village in X and Y. Now this place is seriously slept on. The Pokemon Village is tucked behind Route 20, where it's a peaceful hideout for Pokemon who've either been abandoned or mistreated by humans, or simply don't like humans around. You'll find wild Pokemon just hanging around, some hiding in flowers, even popping out of trash cans. And it's got this mellow, slightly mysterious, but really calming environment that just makes it seem like the secret corner of the game that you're not supposed to find. But here's when it gets even cooler. At the edge of the village, there's a big Snorlax just dozing off, just totally asleep by the river. Unlike the Snorlax early in the game, you can't get it out of the way and you can't catch it, but it's still a cool feature nonetheless. Also, just north of the Pokemon Village, you'll find the Unknown Dungeon, which is a cave where you can literally catch Mewtwo and also get the Mega Stone depending on your version of Pokemon X and Y. So between the Snorlax, the Mewtwo, and the peaceful vibes, I'd say this is a goated spot. After this, we have Unity Tower. So in Generation 5, there's this place called Unity Tower, and you can only access it after having gotten the National Dex. And even then, most players never actually take the time of day to go here. It's off this little island that you can only reach by talking to a woman at the gate to Unity Pier in Castelia City. When you go here, you'll find yourself in a tall tower with different floors, each of them representing a region of the world. NPCs show up based on where you've traded in the world. There's no battling, no items, just a weirdly quiet and chill place based on international trades. No one really talks about it because it's not part of the main story and it's easy to miss, but it's one of those strange calming spots in the game that just makes you feel nostalgic for some reason. The next one is Platinum Villa in Pokemon Platinum. So after you complete the main storyline, you can access the resort area in Sinnoh's Battle Zone. Here, an NPC will offer you the ownership of a villa at literally no cost, so you can basically have access to your own house. Now, although it is unfurnished at the beginning, the villa allows players to purchase various decorations and furniture from this catalog on the table. These items are then placed in the predetermined spots, and they basically add aesthetic to your house. As you furnish the villa, a lot of characters including gym leaders, Professor Rowan, and your own mother show up to the house. One of the reasons I like the villa so much is because it provides your own personal little corner of the game and it feels comfortable. It doesn't offer any gameplay advantages or anything really, but it's a decorative feature, and it's just one of these nostalgic spots you can go to after booting up your Pokemon Platinum game after all these years. After this, we have the Nature Preserve. Now in Black and White 2, after you complete the Pokédex, you unlock a special place called the Nature Preserve. You get there after Professor Juniper flies you there, and it shows up on the map as a little island off the main region. It's completely separate from the rest of Unova, and actually you gotta get a permit to fly there. But when you land, it's a small, quiet little island with trees, flowers, and a few ponds. Given the name Nature Reserve, players have suggested that it's sort of a conservation area. There's not many NPCs, no buildings, and not much to do, but the main reason you're here is to catch a guaranteed shiny Haxorus. It's just standing there in the tall grass waiting for you. It's at level 60, it doesn't respawn, so if you knock it out or run, you're pretty much screwed. However, it's one of the few legit in-game shiny gifts that Pokemon offers. Just like some of the other places on our list, it doesn't really have much importance, but it's still a hidden bonus area, and it is pretty nice and quiet. After this, we're going to Amity Square. Now, Amity Square is in Heart Home City in Diamond and Pearl, and it's basically a small park where you can walk around with certain Pokemon outside their Pokeballs. While this may not seem like a big deal now, at the time it was a huge deal, and you could actually see your Pokemon walking alongside you. The only catch is it only allows you to bring in cute Pokemon, whatever that means. This restricts the amount of Pokemon you can walk with to basically stuff like Pikachu, Clefairy, Pachirisu, or other ones that are kind of like that. If your favorite Pokemon wasn't on it, well, too bad. The park is itself just a bunch of winding paths, fences, some flower patches, and ruins, Not much happens, you can find some hidden items on the ground, and sometimes your Pokemon will even pick up accessories or berries and then show them to you. That's about it, but pretty neat spot nonetheless. Moving on, we have Anville Town. Anville Town is one of those places in Pokemon Black and White that feel like it should be important, but actually it's not. You can't even fly there directly. The only way to get there is by taking the battle subway in Nimbasa City, specifically the Brown Line. And even then, it only runs on weekends, so unless you're a full-on completionist, you probably never even went there. Now, if you follow the steps and get there, it's a small, peaceful town with barely anything in it. No gym, no Pokemon Center, just a few houses, trees, and this giant train packed in the middle, which seems to be the main attraction. There's also a small item trading event with NPCs who will offer you to trade items with them, stuff like wings or evolution items or stones. There's also a guy who talks about trains and is completely obsessed with them. That's basically the whole vibe. It's a quiet town full of train enthusiasts, and I can't quite describe it, but for some reason this just feels like the most nostalgic city in the whole game. Let's stay in Pokemon Black and White for a bit to go to our next location, the Game Freak office. Now, a lot of you will remember that in Pokemon Black and White, it was actually possible to find the Game Freak office inside a building in Castelia City. It's on the 11th floor of a big office located right near the Pokemon Center. You take the elevator up and walk into this normal looking room with desks and NPCs, but actually, a lot of the people inside are named after real Game Freak staff, like the director, programmer, and graphic designer. Now, there is no gameplay function here. They just say standard stuff like thanking you for playing the game or mentioning development details. But after you beat the champion, you can actually come back and battle the Game Freak director. In Pokemon Black and White, that's Morimoto, and he uses a strong team and gives you a lot of XP and actually pretty good money. In Pokemon Black and White 2, you can have a double battle with him and another developer. It's not a required location you can visit, but it's kind of a tradition in every game to meet the director and the developers. Moving on, we have Kiloude City in Pokemon X and Y. Now, this city is only unlockable in the post-game and you can't get there until you beat the champion. After that, an NPC in Lumiose City will give you the keys and tell you about it in the train station. And when you get there, it's this quiet little vibey city with a Pokemon Center, a few houses, and some trees. But the main thing here is the Battle Maison, which is Kalos' version of the Battle Tower. You can do battle challenges, earn BP, and rematch some of the gym leaders. There's also a daily battle with your rival here, which is pretty nice. There's not much else to mention about this location, but I personally love the vibes here, and I like the fact that you have to take a train to get here rather than flying. Now, the final one on our list is the Bell Tower. Now, this is not exactly a hidden location. It's mandatory in Gold, Silver, and Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but something about it just reminds you of being in the early 2000s again and playing your favorite Pokemon game. Now, the main thing about the Bell Tower is the fact that Ho-Oh is at the top of this tower and you eventually have to climb up and you get the chance to battle and catch it. But honestly, the entrance moment when you first enter the tower for the first time hits harder than that because of these soft bell chimes in the background. It feels like the game just wants you to slow down for a second and take a step back and enjoy the nature. Not to mention that the city it's located in is one of the most beautiful cities in the game, I'd argue. Like, the trees surrounding the whole area just make it such a vibe. When I think Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, the first thing my mind comes to is the Bell Tower because of these reasons. Anyway, those are some nostalgic Pokemon locations for me. Let me know down below which places do you find nostalgic. And I'll see you next time. Peace out.